Hey, Steve. Welcome to the Build Show. Steve, I am not snowed in yet. I was still capable of going to Micro Center and picking up another 9800X 3D. What's up, chat nerds? Welcome back to the Build Show, sir. Let's fix this camera just a little bit. I think my head might have bumped it yesterday. 12900K build. It is actually an i9 14900K build. This is a special edition. Is this the KS? This is. A customer picked up these parts and brought them over to me. So this is the KS. So a 14900 KS. Good evening, Cosmos. Welcome. Welcome to the Build Show. I am your host over here at the Empower Gaming Studio, and tonight we're going to be building Richard's badass PC. We were going to start trying to doing this PC yesterday, but we ran out of time. It got a little late, so we decided to push the build off to this evening. Might give Richard actually a better opportunity to watch the stream because he had to get up early and he wasn't going to be able to watch it if we did it that late. So tonight we are going to be building Richard's PC. Richard picked out all of these parts on his own. I think he messaged me a couple times for some, you know, advice here and there, but outside of that, he pretty much picked out all his parts and brought them over to us to do the build. So it is in a massive case, so we're going to be zoomed out most of the stream, especially when we get the case out. But let's go ahead and run through the build, because I really don't have like a sheet with everything on it, like an invoice. Typically, I'd have that. I guess I do, kind of. So, okay, yeah, I kind of do. When he checked the parts in, I wrote down what he checked in. So we've got an Intel i9 14900KS CPU that we're going to be building with tonight. We do have the LGA 1700 contact frame for the LGA socket. We've got a 64 gigabyte kit of DDR5 6400 megahertz. This is the Corsair Vengeance DDR5, and I think we confirmed, if I remember correctly, we confirmed that this was on the QVL list for the motherboard. So we specifically picked out this kit for him to pair with that motherboard that we have, which, by the way, is this guy, the ROG Maximus Z790 Hero. So this, if you're not familiar with it, is pretty much top of the line for ASUS in the LGA 1700. I think there might be one other board that's better than this, and it's only because it's got the liquid cooling. It's like the hydro or the liquid cooling for the VRMs. Ant-Man, what's up? Welcome back to the build show, sir. Welcome back. Is that a KS? Yes, it is. It is. It's a limited special edition. Not limited, special edition. Sorry. But yes, we are going to be doing the 14900 KS tonight on the ROG Maximus Z790 Hero. The cooler that we're going to be running on this CPU is the Noctua NHD15 Chromax Black. So this is a pretty badass cooler. Can pretty much handle any workstation CPU you throw at it. I think the TDP on this thing that it can handle is pretty good. Storage, we've got a 4 terabyte NVMe SSD, which is of course our 990 Pro with a system caliber of this size. And then we've got a couple of 120 millimeter Noctua fans that we're going to be adding to the system as well. So I'm actually not sure where we're putting those in the system yet, but we will find out, probably in the top. Next up is our graphics card, which is of course the behemoth Asus ROG Strix Gaming OC RTX 4090. So this thing, I believe we're going to be mounting this actually vertically in the case, because the case comes with a vertical mount as well. And then last but not least, the power supply in the case. The power supply we're going to be running is an ROG Thor 1200 watt Platinum 2. So this is a behemoth of a power supply to power this behemoth of a system. And this thing, when it's all said and done, we're probably going to need a forklift to move this build around, because it's going to weigh more than what my hernia can allow to move. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I think we'll be okay, though. Do you know about the secret 4090 Ti? I've heard things about that. And I think we've even seen reference models of a 4090 Ti, but it never came to fruition. Never came to. $5,000 build, pretty much, yeah. This thing is up there. I don't know what it cost him, all the parts, but because all he's paying me to do is the build. So we're just doing the build fee over here. So he bought all the parts and he brought it to me, and we're just doing the build at this point for him. So here we go. Let's get started by moving half of this stuff off the desk that we won't be using right off the rip. I'm kind of worried that the case is not going to fit in the frame of the camera, because the camera it's a big case. By the way, we are building in that Cooler Master half case, whatever it's called, that massive behemoth Cooler Master case. If you know which one I'm talking about, it's a full tower. Yeah, it's a full tower. It's a beast. That one, yes. Okay, let's go ahead and pop this open so we can start building a PC for Those Who Dare by Asus, which is the Republic of Gamers thing that they talk about all the time. For Those Who Dare. So it looks like we're out of an anti-static bag, and I think that was because maybe somebody previously opened this up and oohed and oogled and awed over their components. Probably Richard, because there's signs of fingerprints on here as well. So the plastics have been peeled already, it looks like. And the whatchamacallit has been removed. I don't think we need anything else from here, but there is also, for this board, I just want to point this out, there's an expansion card for additional M.2 slots that you could run in a PCIe slot. So, and then you also get a USB drive included, which I believe has drivers already preloaded on it and everything. And then everything else underneath here is going to be your all the extra hardware that comes with the board, or additional hardware, which is your Wi-Fi antennas, your SATA cables, some RGB cables, even some additional thermal pads for your heat, or for your SSEs, and then some additional brackets. I think one of these is a vertical bracket or some sort of bracket for the card. But we're not going to be using any of that, really, except for the Wi-Fi antennas when he goes to plug it in. So we're done with everything in this box that I'm aware of. I'm going to just set this over here. And I'm going to try to save all these boxes for him, because I don't know if he wants to save them or not. So I will do my best to keep them nice and neat. Hey, what's up, Steve Anderson? Hello, my dog is in my lap. Hard to type. I can understand that. But we're doing a 14900 KS build tonight, Steve, along with RTX 4090. It was the build that we were going to start doing late last night. Got your hands on any 50 series cards yet? No, they are not released yet to us, unfortunately, until the end of the month. So we have to wait, just like everybody else. So we're waiting until the end of the month to hopefully get our hands on maybe a 5080 or a 5090, depending on availability, of course. LOL. They don't release till the 30th. Yeah, it's the end of the month. 30th. And then we get to see. Although, you know, I'm kind of skeptical on the whole, hey, you can have a 5070, which is the same performance as a 4090. Maybe DLSS 4.0 will beat it, or come close to the same performance, but I don't really think that the raw horsepower, meaning rendering or any professional use of the card, is going to even come close to a 4090. So for gaming, maybe with the fake frames, DLSS 4.0. Man, those cards are going to be shit hard to get. Yeah, I mean, they've already made it so that 4080 Supers, 4070 Ti Supers, 4070 Ti's, 4070 Supers, and of course 4090s and 4080s, all of those cards are really hard to get right now. So there's already a shortage. So, and everybody I've spoken to is like, oh, I'm waiting for the 50 series to drop. So it's gonna be damn near impossible to get a 50 series card on day one. I can tell you that right now. It is gonna be hard. Yeah, I was with you. Yeah, I know. I figured you were. But I still have to answer the question, because if somebody comes along and watches this video later, I still have to answer the question right. Chat nerds. Yeah, I was messing with. Yeah. Somebody else does that too. I think he's a little bit older than me though. Okay, so for the socket, we're going to fill it with a i9 14900 KS. which is the CPU that Richard selected for this build. He literally went all out on this build. So he's going to be pretty happy, and of course we're going to make sure we get all those BIOS updated, so we get all those fixes for these problems in there, right? You don't want any of those CPU problems. Then again, I'm going to try to keep these boxes as nice as possible, so I'm going to reassemble this CPU box. Normally I just kind of throw them away. But in this particular situation, we are going to save them for him. Let's go ahead and zoom in for this. That would be Dr. Diddle. Yeah, Dr. Diddle. Yeah, that guy. Does that look okay? Look good? We can get really close with this camera, by the way. So what I'm going to do is just lift this up. Taking out Pico. Oh, Pico, I think the pins really quick. They look pretty good. And then we'll get our CPU ready to drop into the socket. Just line it up, drop it in. Now, I'm not going to close this up because we are actually going to use a Thermalright contact frame for this one. So let me get the reassembly of this CPU box, but the pins are protected because the CPU is on there, as long as I don't move the motherboard. Right? So I put this back together. Then I'm going to reassemble this box. So it stays nice. Once again, he bought the parts, so I assume he's going to probably want to save all his boxes. So I'm going to try to keep it as nice as possible for him. Okay, so next up is our Thermalright LGA 1700 contact frame that we're going to be using for this build. Hey all, what's up, Mason Baker? Welcome back to the Build Show. Bro wants a beefy PC, I know. Yeah, he wants to be able to just do anything he wants and not worry about, did I buy enough? He just went to the top. Had a wired post code, or a weird, I'm sorry. Can't read English tonight. Had a weird postcode problem this morning. Oh yeah, I think you mentioned that in the Discord channel. I remember that. Ended up being in the external hard drive, right? Which, if anybody else wants to join that Discord channel, you're more than welcome to. Wait, so you know if they're going to make a new motherboard for the Intel i5, i7, i9 CPUs like Asus and Gigabyte? Yes. Yes, of course they will. Yes, they have, so the Ultra series will have its own socket, new sockets, and they have their own motherboards already. So those have all been released already. So you've already got the new lineup of motherboards for the Ultra series, if that's what you're talking about. I assume that's what you're talking about. I don't know for sure. Hey, what's up, Onra, over on the Twitch? Welcome back to the Build Show, sir. Welcome back. But in this particular situation, we're going to remove this bracket and install this Thermalright bracket. So I'm going to use my handy dandy tool. And then we don't want to move the motherboard in this situation because we're just going to drop our bracket in. The back plate's currently lined up, and we're going to reuse the same screws that came out of the brackets that we just removed to install this new contact frame. which might be an issue because I feel like it might have been dropped a little too far, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is try to line it up now. Okay. This is a little bit of a unique scenario. Not typically something we run into this. But because of the back of the board, specifically, is designed the way it is, the plate falls further than the, whatchamacallit, so hold on. I just need to figure out something to hold it up. Oh, come on. Something small enough to hold that. All we want is to get a bite. I really don't want to flip this board around upside down because that CPU is just hanging there, you know? I don't like taking chances on that socket. It makes me nervous. Alright. Now that I put fingerprints on everything. By the way, that maneuver was brought to you by a Team Group MP44 2TB SSD, which is not for this system. But that solved the problem. Now that I've put my fingerprints all over this, we'll have to clean that up. But, there we go. We've got our contact frame installed correctly, and now we're ready for our RAM and our SSD. What about the regular ones, the 14, 13, and 12th gen? What do you mean by that? I mean, yeah, new socket is the 1851. This is, so 12th generation, 14th generation, and 13th generation, they're all on LGA 1700. That's actually what we're working with right now, which is the 600 series and 700 series motherboards. That'll support 12th, 13th, and 14th generation. And then the 800 series, I believe that's what it is now, right? For the LGA 1851, which is the newest Ultra series Intel CPUs. The 800 series chipset is what I think you're talking about. Yes. Exactly what Intel, or exactly what ChatNerd said. What processor do you think would be best for the RTX 5070 Ti? I'd say, you know, a Ryzen 7 7800X3D or a 9800X3D would be a great processor for the 5070 Ti. Yeah, that would be pretty good. Hey, some giant idiot, welcome back to the Build Show. Army Vet, welcome back to the Build Show. And Twinkle Toes VR, welcome to the Build Show. But I'd say, yeah, a Ryzen 7 7800X3D or a Ryzen 9, or I'm sorry, Ryzen 7 7900X3D or Ryzen 7 9800X 3D or a 7800X 3D would work fine. Can't get the words out right. English difficult. Army vet and some giant idiot, welcome back to the Build Show. I didn't know that, chat nerds. Yeah, sometimes if your ports you got too much of a load on it, or sometimes storage devices, external storage devices can cause that. If I can't get a 3D chip, what would be the next best? I mean, any Ryzen 7, I guess, at that point. 7000 series or the 9000 series. Either one would work just fine. But a Ryzen 7000 series would work great, or Ryzen 7. Yeah, so the difference is that there'd be, for gaming, I guess it comes down to really your question, or the question of Twinkle Toes, what do you want to do on the PC? If you're just gaming, honestly, the Ryzen 9 7950X is overkill. You don't need that much CPU to run that card. Just a simple 7700X would run that card to its fullest, perfectly fine. You wouldn't need those, you'd be wasting the extra cores if all you're doing is gaming. Unless it's something like X-Plane 12 or, you know, an actual title or simulation that needs that actual CPU speed, where you do gain some definite benefit there. Thank you, chat nerds, for that. The 9700X or the 7700X are perfect examples if you can't get. And you could just run those for, you know, a little while until you can kind of get your hands on a 9800X 3D, and I think it would still be worthwhile going out and, you know, picking up the 9700X, and then, sorry, we went robotic there. So I think it'll be worthwhile to pick up the 9700X or 7700X, run that for a little while, and then once you can get a 9800X 3D, go ahead and swap it out, and then sell your 7700X. Because I have an Intel i9 14900K with Asus ROG Strix gaming Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's a pretty good setup already. Are you just having problems with it, or you're doing rendering and 3D modeling? So yeah, maybe it makes sense to go to the 7950X. Yeah. That's why I speak Spanish. That's a good choice. Alright, so we're going to install 64 gigs of DDR5 6400, and I think this is CL32. Yes, CL32. And this is by Corsair. This is Corsair Vengeance. So, nothing super crazy about the RAM, other than the speed and performance is pretty amazing. And we're going to be putting this in A2 and B2 slots. Alright, so next we're going to install the SSD into the top slot here, which I believe does not impact anything other than the SATA ports. Although I should probably double check that, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. I've built on this board before. I don't recall if there is any impact there or not. Like disables or changes the performance on the X16 slot. I don't think it does that. Did you already deliver the little minion from yesterday? No, it's still here. Unfortunately, I did not get to complete it yet. So we will be finishing that up probably tonight after this build stream, and then I'll have it ready for pickup for them tomorrow. So they'll be able to come by tomorrow and pick it up, because it is a local customer. They're going to be picking it up locally. I'm just worried about the snowstorm we've had here, which kind of sucks, because now I have to go out and shovel snow. I don't have a snowblower, you know, I'm not fancy like that. I don't have a snowblower. I have to rely on old, you know, old manpower. Alright, so this 990 Pro does have a heatsink installed, so we can't use the included heatsink from the motherboard. Typically, I usually like using the heatsink from the motherboard over the actual heatsink that come on SSDs like this. But, I mean, honestly, it's just going to make my job easier, because I could just pick this bad boy up, drop it in the box over here, and not have to worry about it. But I mean, it's going to look kind of crummy. What are you yelling at? What I'm going to do is cut some of this thermal pad off so it doesn't, you know, collect dust and look like ass. There we go. So now we've got our SSD installed. And it doesn't look like crap because we cut the thermal pad to size, and it won't collect dust on there and get all nasty. You know, it'll stay nice and clean. So now we are pretty much ready for our ready to get our case out. Try to clean up some of those fingerprints that I put on there. Let's get our case. Or do we put this cooler on first? You know what? We should probably put the cooler on first, honestly. And then go to the case. Let's do that. Let's do that. We're gonna zoom out a little bit for this. Hey, Kanye West. Welcome back to the Build Show, sir. I have all-wheel drive tires? Yes, I have all-wheel drive. I do not have four-wheel drive. So it is very easy to get, you know, stuck. Still, even with all-wheel drive in the Michigan snow. I'm just gonna try to make sure my board isn't obsolete. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, the Z790A for the 14th gen is the best board you can get. There's no better board out there. So that's the best chipset that is available for that generation of CPU. The Ultra is going to be the 8000 series, meaning the Z790A does not support the Ultra series CPUs, just for your awareness. 14th generation, the i9-14900KS, which is what we just installed here, is the best CPU for that lineup that you have currently in your system, just so you're aware. Chandler, hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Build Show. Just installed some new Corsair RAM on a build, and although both DIMMs are functional and it registers as 32, I can only change the RGB on one of them. Any experience with this? It's either an issue with the Corsair iCUE. You could try reinstalling Corsair iCUE if it was previously installed, or you could try the RAM in a different slot and see if it lights up, so you could detect if it's a slot problem on the motherboard or a problem with the stick of RAM. But it could potentially just be a defective stick of RAM. That has happened in the past. I've seen that quite a few times, and unfortunately Corsair. So, but yeah, test it by moving it to a different slot. You know, run a single stick, you know, the one that's not working, try that one and only that one, and see if it does anything. If it does, then maybe there's something going on with the motherboard. Do the cooler, trust me. You know, yeah, what was I thinking? Just do the cooler now. Yeah, good idea. Yeah, the D15's a beast. It's a very, very large cooler. I don't think I've ever done a D15 on an Intel board, as stupid as that may sound. So, I think it's only ever been AMD. I've done the Ice Giant on Intel. Those are massive coolers too. The Ice Giant. Whatever. this is the behemoth of a cooler that we're going to be installing on the i9 14900KS tonight. This is the Noctua NH-D15 ChromaMax Black. I'm going to be using that term a lot tonight, guys. Behemoth. Whoops, just whacked the mic. Is this the Beast air cooler? Yes. Oh yeah, the 90 degrees adapter, I forgot. Yeah, I still need to order that too. Actually, I forgot to pick that up at Micro Center today. Shit. Oh no. I gotta pick that up. Well, looks like I'm going back to Micro Center tomorrow, guys. Why not? Like I said, I live there. My bad. Oh, no worries. You reminded me. I was like, oh, yeah, that. I would have, you know, once I got it back on the bench tonight, I would have remembered. Any recommendations for the motherboard if I go 9950X? Honestly, I really like the Gigabyte boards for AIM-5. I have really liked them. They have just simply worked. With Asus, I've had problems in the past, but of course, you know, after the BIOS updates, things got a little better. Back to Micro Center. Yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll go back to Micro Center. You must live there. I pretty much live there. Yes, everybody knows me by name. Yep. Pretty much, I think. At this point, I think everybody knows me by name. Or at least recognizes me very well, especially when I walk in with the same hoodie every time. Oh, that guy again. But the Gigabyte X670 Aorus Elite series, that's always been a great board. Of course, you know, go Asus ROG Strix X670E gaming Wi-Fi. That's a great board. That was always a great board, or is still a great board. I talk about it as if it's past pred, but you could also go to the 8 series. So if you are going to AIM-5, go to the 800 series, like the X8, the X870. That'll kind of get you a little future-proof on the setup. I think that has more PCIe 5.0 features on it, and I think it has Wi-Fi 7 as well now. Yeah, another run. Yeah, I should just start doing vlogs as I'm driving to back and forth from Micro Center. It's a 30-minute drive, so it would be the 30-minute Micro Center run, we'll call it. You know, talk about it as if it's the Millennium Falcon run. All right, let's get these brackets out. I actually haven't done an Intel install with this cooler before. So, I've done AM5, but I've never done LGA 1700, so give me a second. I just want to check to make sure I'm going to do it right. I can assume, just by the brackets that I was looking at there. It would help if I wasn't looking at AMD and I was looking at Intel. So we do have a bracket. Oh shit, these things. Oh, I hate these fucking things. I hate this design, but okay. So, these are going to go on the back plate. I need to locate the back plate, which is right here. That's for the fan. We'll put this up here. That's for the back plate. These are the brackets. Here is our back plate. Right here. Cool. So, we're going to set up this back plate. Come here, microphone. No! Baby-proof opening bags thing. Just cut through it. Screw that. Okay. So, with LGA 1700... Pole position, LGA 1851 and 1700 pretty much the same. It's going to be 2, number 2. They numbered? Okay. Okay, so you put this little screw through, and then you have this little teeny tiny, like, nut grabber, we'll call it. It goes in here and kind of pinches it on there. It's a little spacer slash nut or bolt grabber. I don't know what the hell I'll call this thing, man. It's like a little spacer washer. C-clamp. C-clamp is the right term. But it's not really a C-clamp, but it does what a C-clamp does. And then we do all 4 corners. I really don't like these designs like this. I get why they do it, because it's so they don't have, you know, these things sticking out and poking things. But, and then once we have that ready, we put this through the holes here. Have the studs standing up. And then after we do that, we go to our Intel parts bucket here. I don't know if we're using the blue or the black ones for 1700. We're using the blue studs or the black studs. That sounds terrible. Looks like we're using the blue ones. Once again, I'm gonna have to cut through this to open it up. The blue ones. And then we're gonna be putting these on number 2. A little easier than I thought it would be, but it just looks complicated because of all the extra crap in here. Then we use the little nut dingers. Seal the deal. Where's my screwdriver? There it is. I'm just blind as a bat. I call it the easiest part to misplace. What's that? What's that one? Hey, what's up, Joe? Welcome back to the Build Show. Red Hoffman, welcome back to the Build Show, sir. Man, you should be breezing through this build like the wind. Yeah, we are. We're moving. I think after we get this cooler installed, it's gonna be pretty easy. There we go. Cooler is, well, the mounting brackets anyway are installed. Now, we're gonna pop this center fan out, right? Get this paste on there and put this cooler on top. Knock it to off! Make sure our cooler's installed the right way. And then I need a lengthy screwdriver for this. So we'll get the long boy out. I peeled the peel, right? You guys saw me peel the peel, right? It doesn't have a peel. That's right. These coolers don't. Okay, so now that that's installed, we can go ahead and put our fan back on. It just doesn't feel right. And then get our second one installed. Honestly, is that 5090 card even made for gaming? LOL. I don't know what it's made for anymore. You know, now that I think about it, I'm putting this fan on wrong. I'm derping over here, guys. I'm derping. Somebody needs to catch me when I do stupid shit like this. Hey Ben, please stop doing stupid shit. Much better. That would have been interesting. Why is the CPU overheating? I have no idea. There we go. Done deal. Cooler's installed. Look at that bad boy. Yeah. Shouldn't be spinning that. Oh well. Okay, moving on to the case, the behemoth. The moment everybody's been wondering about. Oh, it's made to empty wallets. Yeah, that is exactly what it is made to do. Venomous Toad, welcome back to the build show. I'm about to build my first PC in a while. Do you not need to spread the thermal paste? It'll smush itself? Exactly. It'll just smash itself down and spread out. You don't really need to spread it. Some people like to, some people, my preference, I don't even bother. If I smash this, if I take this off right now and show you guys, it'll be pretty well spread out, like almost perfectly. You just get a good enough spread, meaning, you know, paste where it's going to smash down in its radius, and it'll get the coverage. If your wallet only has 2K, you never need a wallet. Yes. That's a terrible thing to say. I hope to get one if in stock. Isn't too much of an issue. Do you guys think a 9800X3D would pair with it, or should I pivot to a different CPU? I think a 9800X3D will run it. It should be good, yeah. I agree. No need for a upgrade. Yeah, I think you'd be fine with that. Kenneth, I'm sorry I missed your question earlier. Ben, question. You said it was hard to get the 40 series card. Is that because NVIDIA stopped making them? Yes. They stopped making or producing the 4090, 4080 Super, 4080, and I think they even stopped making the 4070 Ti Supers, I believe. But all of those cards are very difficult to get right now because they're switching gears to the 50 series. So those will be releasing the 4090 and the 5090 and the 5080 will be releasing on the 30th. So that is why there's a huge drought of graphics cards right now. All right, I'm going to go ahead and set this over here. I'm going to zoom the camera out because this case is massive, and we're going to get the case out. Oh. Well, here's the top corner of the case. As you can see, it's very large. It's a behemoth of a case. It says to do something like this. Open it up. I know you guys really can't see what I'm doing, but I am doing things. Pull the lock panel first. Where's the lock panel? Oh my gosh. Thought I was breaking it. Wow. That was a shocker. Okay, this thing's a behemoth. The half 700, the monstrosity, the overkill case. Yeah, that one. That's what we're building in tonight. Which comes with that vertical bracket that I was talking about, so we're going to be using that. I didn't know anybody needed a case this big, but damn, it's beautiful. Alright, so how do we get this back panel off? It should be the same thing, right? It just released? Once the top panel's released, this should release too, right? Oh my gosh, there's so much weight to it, even with the panels off! Is there something I'm missing on the back panel, or what's going on here? What am I missing about the back panel? Anybody know? It's been a while since I've touched this thing and I can't remember. Not too often do I get builds in these things, because they're so big. Let's look. Examine the situation. So this should just release. Duh. I just don't want to break it when I'm pulling on stuff, you know? Okay, so I'm going to unlock this thing because we're going to be back here. Pull that panel. Oh my gosh, there's like 18 billion panels to pull. Okay. That should really be it for the panels that I want to pull. Yeah, I think these 120 fans are for the top. Oh. Holy shit, that thing's huge. It's massive. I always forget how big this case is until I see it in person again. It's like, holy crap, it's big. You could definitely do a Threadripper build in this thing. No doubt of that. Are we gonna have a clearance issue with the cooler? No way. We might have a clearance issue with the fan. No way. For such a big case, how is this even possible? More weight up. Barely. That's going to be interesting. We're going to find out. What's the name of this case? It's the HAF 700 by Cooler Master. The HAF 700 Evo. Martin, good evening. Welcome back to the Build Show. Sir. Good evening. What are the specs of this gaming PC? So, are you asking about mine or the one that I'm building right now? So the one I'm building right now is for a customer. His name's Richard. This is build number 6 for 2025. And the 14900KS is underneath this Noctua NH-D15. We've got a, was it 2 terabyte or 4 terabyte? Can't remember. 2 or 4 terabytes. Samsung 990 Pro, and we've got 64 gigs of DDR5, 6400 CL32 Corsair Vengeance, and a Z790 ROG Strix Maximus Hero motherboard, and a Cooler Master HAF 700 Evo currently, with an RTX 4090 by Asus ROG Strix and a 1200 watt Asus ROG Strix power supply, and some Noctua fans we're going to add at the top here to help with the airflow. Not that we really need it, but I think I recommended it when we were looking at it. Like, maybe we could get a little bit more airflow with that. My personal rig, I have a Ryzen 7, you guys are going to laugh, Ryzen 7 5700X, a B550 motherboard, and an RTX 3070 Ti, and probably 8 terabytes of mixed SSD storage. I've got a 240 millimeter AIO in the Lian Li Landcool 205. Nothing special. It works. So that's my personal rig. What an absolute unit of a case. I know, it's massive. And there might be clearance issues with this cooler. That's what? What? Yeah, man. I knew you guys would laugh. I don't do a lot of gaming anymore. You know, I play PUBG. That's what I play. It doesn't take, you can play PUBG on a smart fridge now. So, it doesn't take much to run it. And then I actually will, from time to time, go back to Call of Duty 1 or Call of Duty 2. You know, get some multiplayer search and destroy in. If you guys are familiar with that OG game. I think this is the right one. I'm on a Ryzen 7 5700G at the moment. I mean, yeah, there's still a great chip, great CPU. I build usually the higher end stuff for other people. I don't really have the higher end stuff for myself right now. I just don't need it. If it's, you know, if it streams for me, I'm satisfied. That's currently what's running the stream too right now, is the same PC. I might have been wrong. It might have been a 5800X. I can't remember which one I have in there. But it's one or the other. 5700X or the 5800X. I wanted to get a 5700 or a 5800X 3D for it, but I haven't come across the right deal for it. I do have a lot of screens though, so I probably have more money in my screens right now than I do my PC at this point. It's like working on the engine of a car. Like I'm leaning into the engine bay here, trying to. It's so damn big. It's still a good 8-core CPU, 16 threads. Yeah, I know. I don't know why I laugh, to be honest. Yeah, it's a great CPU still. For what I do, I mean, I've never had any problems with performance. So as soon as I have a problem with performance, then I have that immediate itch to like fix the problem, which is, you know, build a new PC. So eventually that will happen, and eventually I will build a new PC. And I was supposed to do it last year. I was really itching to do it, and I never got around to it because there was just a ton of work to do. And this year so far, it's just been so busy. I can't even think it. But eventually I will do a build stream where, you know, Ben upgrades his computer or does a new build. And then maybe even, if one of my kids don't end up stealing mine, maybe I'll give mine away out to somebody. I've got 3 screens. Yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screens in here right now. Not all running on the same PC right now, but I've got a lot of screens. They all do different things. One of them is the bench screen right now. But, you know. 7? Oh, no, kids, I have 3 kids. 3, all girls. And they're gamer girls, too, so far. I don't know about the 8-week-old or the 2-month-old one. She hasn't told us yet if she's going to be a gamer girl or not. But if she follows in the footsteps of her older sisters, she'll probably become a gamer girl. Needed a drinky dink. Can I do a setup tour of my video? Setup tour video? I will. I can do that. Right now, the Empower Gaming Studio is a complete disaster with how many boxes we have in here right now. So I'd have to clean it up a little bit, and then we could do it. How about your wife? My boys love gaming. My wife enjoys gaming, yeah. Set up shop tour at 1,000 subs, so click that. Chat nerds. Yeah, I would do that if we hit 1,000 subs, yes, for sure. There's pictures out there of my setup floating around there somewhere. They're out there. Hope everybody's having a great night. I'm trying to play Warzone and watch. Welcome back to the Build Show, Tat. I'm glad you're getting some Warzone in. But okay, we've got the motherboard installed. We got the Noctua NHD15, the 64 gigs of RAM, the 2 or 4 terabyte. I can't remember what size, so I could go look at the box. It is a 4 terabyte SSD installed, the 990 Pro, and the 14900KS installed into the massive Cooler Master half 700 Evo case with concerns of a cooler clearance to see if the panel will clear it or not. I'm pretty sure it will, but I actually had no concern, none at all, that this would be a clearance issue when he was picking out these parts. So I'm going to stand this thing up and I'm going to get some of these front panel connectors pushed through. So we've got USB 3, USB 3, USB-C. We could even get the power supply out and start doing some of the power supply cables. Why don't we do the power supply cables and limit how many times we're flipping this thing around? Oh. And then we'll stand it up, route some of the cables, mount the 2 fans, and then lay it back down and plug everything in. Sound good? I'm just trying to limit how many times I have to maneuver this thing because it's so damn big. It's so big. It's a BFC. A BFC. A big effing case. That is what they should have named it. The half BFC. I mean, honestly, more people probably would have bought it. Yeah, man, I want the BFC. Somebody in HR, after that went through marketing's ideas, I'm sure it happened, came out and said, yeah, we can't use that term. Too close to something else. Ah. The designers of these boxes did a really good job, by the way. Yeah, work smart, not hard. The BFC. Yeah. I will come help. That'd be a day job, like an entire day worth of cleaning to do here. I'm talking like I've got shit everywhere over here right now. That's the best way I could put it. There's just shit everywhere. I don't even know what to do with half of it. Like, part of me just wants to like buy a dumpster and just get rid of all this crap that I have here. There's our 24 pin. Now we need to find CPU, EPS, CPU, CPU. Then I think we need a 6 pin for this motherboard. There we are. Really want to play Indiana Jones, but if I do, no one will see me for 4 to 7 hours. Yeah, man, that's a game that's on my list of games to buy. As soon as I buy that game, I'm gonna have to build myself a new PC. I think that's what's gonna happen. It'll give me a reason to go splurge a little bit. Why? Why is this even a thing? Come on, guys. All right, and then we have two 8-pin EPSs. Here, let me lean into the engine bay. Might have to get up on my side, you know, like on a pool table. Just get this done. What is back there? Just immediately. The freaking hard drive cage back there. You close to a KFC? I am, actually. Right down the street from a KFC. There's one right in town. Like, not even 4 minutes away. BBC. It is black. And it is big. And it is a case, so the big black case. Yeah, right. Too close, too close. I'm getting a workout watching you move this beast, yeah. I can't get the cables in there because there's a hard drive cage. Alright. We've got the cables kind of routed here. Get a zip tie on that. Zip ties? Where art thou, zip ties? Okay, let's stand this thing up. Get these cables routed from the back side to the front side. Yeah. Move this stupid hard drive cage that's in my way. There we go. All right. And then we'll bust open this massive thing. Just so you guys can see what I'm doing, I laid it down for us. Not too close to something that I would zip tie the unused cables to the dry bay. Oh, those are cable extensions. Yeah, they're not cable extensions. They're modular power supply cables. So they're just going to go into the power supply. I'm just running the cables right now. Now, I know we have two USB 3.0 headers on that board. Thank goodness. HD audio. We'll start from the bottom and work our way up. HD audio. USB 3s. USB-C. This is our front panel connector. This is a RGB synchronization cable. And this is USB 2.0, 2.1 or 2.0. I think we have an RGB sync down here. Okay. Then we just have this SATA power cable that we'll have to plug into the power supply. Let's stand it back up, install the fans, and then we'll get everything plugged in. Oh. These actually need to go through here. Not there. I knew that. Okay. We've got two 120 millimeter fans we were going to add here at the top, I thought, right? Did they mount there? Or were we adding them to the bottom? I don't remember where we were going to add these suckers. Do. I think we just add them to the top. Just add them to the top. We've got two NHAT or A12X25 PWM premium 120 millimeter fans to install by Noctua. And I think originally we wanted to put them on the top, so that's where I'm going to put them. They are the poop brown color. This is what Richard picked out, by the way. Cat Tuna, I bet the case moving is working wonders for that area. Yes, it is. Definitely doing wonders for me. But it's not too bad. Not too bad. Hopefully I didn't think of this, but there should be a PWM fan back there somewhere that I gotta get plugged in as well. Where do these run? We are mounting it here. How do these get to the back? I'm not a fan of that. Why did he want those fans to make his PC look like Coffee Maker? Yeah, I think that's what he wanted to see is, you know, the coffee and cream kind of look originally. That was the original decision, I believe. Joking, of course. Oh, I thought he was getting the black ones, but maybe he doesn't know he has these. Something we can always change out later if we need to. Not end of the world. Okay. The cables on these fans are super short. And I kind of hate that. But they come with the extensions, and I wish they just make longer cables for them. Ah. You have 4 monitors running on one PC, man. That's pretty cool. That was a chat from earlier. Sorry. Ant-Man, what do you need 7 monitors for? Well, I've got, you know, my chat monitor here, my 2 main displays, and then a couple extra there too. So it kind of adds up quick. And then I've got a couple that are currently not in use right now. So, and then I've got my bench monitor over here for wiring up the PCs and connecting that to a, what do you call it? We gotta get it connected to a, capture card. So if I am working on the bench over here and you guys want to see what I'm doing software side, I can do it as long as it's in a high enough screen resolution with the capture card that I have right now. It does not like lower screen resolutions. So if it's in a lower screen resolution, the capture card doesn't like to work. So most of the time, BIOS scenarios, for example, do not like to show up on the capture card. Oh yeah, for modular, best place for extra cables in the drive bay. Yeah, I know. I know. Or we'll end up probably stuffing some of it. Noctua are the best cooling fans around. Has over 200 awards for cooling. Yes, they are some of the best, which is why we use them. Noctua Tech Tips. Noctua Tech Tips. They do have, I think, a Noctua version of it. But the LPT screwdriver, yes. That is what I'm currently using right now. We're trying to see how many builds it survives. And I think we started last year at 150 or so builds, so it survived almost 50 builds now. So far, so good. Pretty strong screwdriver. Okay. I gotta go locate the PWM. Oh, I do. I have that. Good. But where's the RGB then? That's the one I gotta go find. Gotta route these into their holes. Into the holes, yeah. Where's my RGB sync cable for this dang thing? Is there a RGB sync cable? Or is this software based? Must be software based with that USB 2.0 connector. The only thing I can think of. Okay. Oh, spin it around. Oh. Whew. Hell as big as it could go with a custom loop, I know. You could definitely do an open loop in here. 100% sure can. There we go. All of our connectors in for our front panel. Easy enough. Really turning into a gaming PC here. Now really all we've got to do is vertically mount a graphics card here. Get the power supply in and then do some cable management, right? And then we're pretty much ready to fire this thing up. And hope that the camera frame is far enough away to fit this thing in the frame. It's so damn big. I can't get over it. Alright, so we're going to stand it up to do the vertical GPU mount. This is the V3, so it's really easy to install, actually. The Cooler Master V3 universal mount. These are really, really easy to use, to install. Makes it simple to take the card out if you need to. So if you're using an air-cooled graphics card and you want it vertically mounted, this is definitely the right mount to use, and it fits almost every single case. So when they say it's a universal bracket, that is very true. So really, the main thing that you have to do is just... I didn't know this came with it. The main thing we have to do is just get the actual PCIe cable out. I wish this was maybe just a tad longer PCIe cable. That would help a little bit. But other than that, very simple to use. Is it necessary to have a SAG kit for your GPU if you're running it horizontally, meaning your default typical position? Yes, for a 4090, definitely. 4080s, definitely. 4070 Ti's, 4070 Ti Supers, 4070 Supers, 4070s, most likely, yes, definitely. You'll want some sort of anti-sag bracket to help with it. My favorite anti-sag bracket is this one. I'll show you. These ones here by Lian Li are my absolute favorite go-to anti-sag brackets that are very simple to install, and they don't really get in the way, and they don't really interfere with the aesthetics because it holds it from the back of the card. These I highly recommend, very highly. They're like $20 on Amazon, but I think you can find them at, for example, Micro Center for like 12 bucks. So highly recommend these. This is the Lian Li GB001 graphics card anti-sag bracket. It's a great bracket. This is not an anti-sag bracket, this is a vertical bracket, so we're going to be putting the card in a vertical mount instead of the horizontal mount that you are probably thinking of that would require that GPU anti-sag bracket. This is going to stand the card up vertically, that it looks, it's all just purely aesthetics. In some cases it can be better for airflow, but this particular situation, really not going to change anything with the airflow. And then there's some cases where you actually have to go vertical just because of pure size of the card. You know, it wouldn't fit in a horizontal position because the card's too big. So sometimes going vertical is the only option, you know? We're going to want to go low with this one. I actually don't know how many of these need to come out. Alright, let's go ahead and get the card out. And then we'll install the card on there and then mount it. Even though we could probably install the card. But I think with the cooler there, we need to get it as low as we can go. And it's just going to be easier for me to install it this way. Like a ghoul, this size of the my truck bed. Yeah, I know, it is massive. Ah, dang it, I ripped the box. I was trying not to rip this box. If I have a micro ATX motherboard installed in an ATX case, could I use that one? Yes, you could still use it. Yes, you could. Yep. You just have to have the stud where the motherboard for the ATX, the bottom of the ATX motherboard would be. You just have to have a stud there. And I think they even include studs in the kit. Alright, so to go with this behemoth build, of course, Richard would go with the behemoth graphics card. AKA the Asus ROG Strix OC RTX 4090. Wouldn't expect anything less. Kind of goes with the theme. The BFC. You know, in honor of this build, we should make a computer series called the BFC series. Big effing computer series. And only have the big effing cases. And everything is just big effing. Wonder if anybody would buy it just because of the name. This thing is massive. Hold on, we have to spend 5 minutes peeling all the peels and stuff. Oh, don't worry, there's another layer of peels. Okay, now that we've got the card peeled, we can put it in. So that GPU is what, about 6 or 7 pounds? I'd say it's probably closer to 10. Honestly, it's probably closer to 10 pounds. This thing's a beast. Weighs about the same as my 10-pound newborn baby. Alright, now I'm gonna get this thing installed. Oh boy. I was hoping we could do this. Might be a problem. CPU cooler might be the problem. I don't know yet. Hold on. Yeah. We can't do it. Not this cooler. I didn't even think of that. I thought it was deep enough. We can't do it. We can't do the vertical bracket. I thought we could. I thought the case was deep enough so that we could still slip it in there. The cooler's just in the way. So I'm going to just put it in horizontally. We'll have to get a vertical bracket. Fortunately, that was a waste of time. Sorry. I thought we could do it. It looked like, and it's almost. It almost fit. Would have been snug, but it almost fit. Oh well. I gave it the old college try. Okay, so now, I'm gonna pop these suckers out now. Put them back in down here. Talking about vertical or anti-sag brackets, let's go ahead and make sure we have one in here. I don't know if this case included one or not. I think it just came with the vertical. Don't think it has one. We're going to do a GB02. Same freaking thing as the GB01. Just has a little bit of an extension on it, which is optional. We're not even going to use it. And I'll show you how to install one of these. But it goes right here. Super easy to install. Ah, cool, look it up, yeah. I have a Micro P and my wife says it's it's usable, so we're good. You're good, okay. Oh, jeez. Did not anticipate reading that. Real life sag demo sweat, yeah. These two little studs go through the motherboard and into the motherboard stud, where the motherboard screws would normally go. And then from there, the bracket gets connected to that, and then you add the little shelf bracket next. So, it's very easy. Whoever designed this was super smart. This little bracket right here. Put the card in. Again, very tight to this cooler. I don't know why this cooler is such a pain in the ass right now. Why is it so close? Like something is off. But, okay. So we put the card in, and then that just gets latched down to secure it. And then this little bracket down here, you can install to help hold the weight of the card. There's little rubber pads we'll put on there. You can install it several different ways. I typically just do it this way. I know you guys can't get a very good view here, but it's relatively simple if you buy it. Just kind of makes sense. The only thing you don't want to do is install it so that it's rubbing up on the fan. So I actually want one more rubber pad on here to hold this weight, just to make it a little thicker. And this will do very nicely. Might have been too thick. That'll do very nicely. Perfect. This will quite literally be almost perfect. There we go. This was definitely not made for this case. This needed to be vertical. This should have been a liquid cooler. Just my opinion. But I think we can still make it work, right? What? That's our 600 watt. You don't have an actual 12 volt connection on this thing? We don't. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Why did he go with that cooler? I don't know. I think he wanted air cooled. And that was one I told him I would recommend for the CPU he was running. I didn't think there would be a clearance issue with this case, honestly. I had no idea. This case is massive. I didn't even think it would be a problem. But if it is, we'll get a different cooler. And I'll make the changes. I have to go back to Micro Center tomorrow anyway. I will get it. That's huge. Yeah, get that bracket. It's worth it. So do you ever think no one would know if I gamed on this for a couple of hours before I deliver it? Has to be tempting with a... I mean, I have to benchmark it, so it's not really gaming, but it's running some benchmark tools to make sure that it's performing where it should be. It's part of the build fee, so we'll test it, you know. Some people actually ask me to test specific games to make sure they're good to go too, you know, or install them, pre-install them, and I'll run a couple of tests. That's it. Hey Robert, welcome back to the build show. Quick check-in, sir. I like that GPU. Looks so good. Yeah, it's a beast. It's a behemoth. So we're almost ready to get this thing fired up. Actually, we just got to get the power supply installed and do a little bit of cable management on the back, which is going to be super easy in this case. That's one of the benefits of this case. And then we fire it up. So. Oh. This is our 1200 watt ASUS RG Thor power supply that we're going to be installing today. This does have a built-in screen, which is unfortunately going to be facing downwards. So I'm going to leave the protector on this so that it doesn't damage anything there, right? I don't know why these, or I'm sorry, facing up. Either way, I'm going to leave the protector on it so it doesn't get scratched. Nice benefit to your job. Yeah, I guess so. I plan to pair a Thermalright Aqua Elite AIO with a Ryzen 7 7700. Joe, I think that'll be just fine. The Thermalright Aqua Elite. Yeah. Good morning, everyone from Greece. Welcome back to the Build Show, sir. I'm so happy today. Do you have sun over there? Because we don't. We don't have sun over here. Yo, yo, hey, what's up, Kanye? Any experience with Dell monitors planning to returning this bummy stuck panel? Yeah, Dell monitors, especially the Alienware series, they're really nice. Really nice. Those are probably one thing that still from Alienware that are good, are their monitors. That is as clean as we're gonna get this thing. There's not much more we could do here. Pretty clean. Right? I make an order to PC Parts, and I make in the next few days. Oh, nice. Welcome. Yo, wait. Steve Anders, good morning to you. Yes. I have a 2006 Dell monitor. It used to be my mother's. Now I use it with the Raspberry Pi. Nice. Yeah, the Dell monitors have been very nice. So you're going with the MSI B650 Tomahawk Wi-Fi, Ryzen 7 7700X, an Arctic Freezer 34 Esports Duo, 32 gigabytes DDR5, 6400 megahertz, Kingston Fury Beast without the RGB, the NVMe Team Group MP44 1 terabyte for Windows and Office. Nice. SSD is SATA Team Group CX2 2 terabyte and a 1 terabyte each, so it looks like you're getting two of those times two. Okay, 2 terabytes and 1 terabyte each. Okay, gotcha. Never mind. So 2 terabytes and a 1 terabyte each. PSU is a Seasonic Focus GX 850 850 watt ATX 3.1 2024 model, and I pull all these on my Corsair 750D PC case. Okay, with two hard drives, Toshiba P300 33.5 inch 4 terabyte drive. Got it. And a Western Digital Blue 4 terabyte 3.5 inch drive. Nice. Yeah, that's a lot of that's gonna be a pretty solid build. All the new PC parts and the total cost is $1,200 US. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, right? I guess the only thing that you might be missing there is, like, maybe, you know, the next thing would be a graphics card, right? What are you using? One of the a previous existing card? But I think we are ready to clean this hardware up, plug this thing in, and fire it up. What do you guys think? I think it is time. Oh gosh. Let's see if we have clearance issues too. Ugh. I think it'll just fit. It'll be squeezing it in, but I think it'll fit. All right, I gotta do this real quick. Whew. There is no clearance issue, FYI. It just is very deceiving because the panel comes out so far. Very deceiving. I forgot to put that back panel on. I'll deal with it later. Let's just get this thing fired up. All right, let's see if we can even get this in the shot. It's so damn big. Remember the baby one we were dealing with the other day? We're just gonna zoom out here so you can see my totally messy room. I don't know, I can zoom in maybe a little bit here. Just want to get the perfect angle. Not all the crap. Smaller. There we go. All right. Yeah. I think we're ready. Ready to push this button. Ah, crap. I didn't click OK. OBS. You can see that my curtain fell too. There we go. All right. Is that case $500? Yes, it's 500 plus. Unfortunately, it is not a cheap case. It is a behemoth, a very expensive, stupid, ridiculous case. In a good way, you know. All right. Go, go, go. All right, here we go. We're going to push this power button. I don't even know where it is. It's right here. And 3, 2, 1. Tinted glass goes very nice with the build. See if I can rotate it a little bit and get myself out of the shot. There. There you guys have it. Seems like the fans aren't lit up yet. Is Richard here? I don't think Richard is here. I think he's AFK still. He posted yesterday saying that he was going to check out the stream, so hey, we got a post. So at least we built it, right? All 64 gigs are there, so that's a good sign. It detects the 990 Pro, so that's a good sign. And the GPU is obviously working, because we posted. Wow, what a case. I know, this thing is massive. They want to see everything, is what they want to see, yeah. The chat room is worried about the PC build. Turn it on, sir. Yeah, go, go, go. Richard, are you there? No, he's not here. I haven't seen him once. He hasn't said anything all night. Unless that was Rich. Up above, looks like Rich may have said something earlier. Is that you, Rich? Test? Is that you, Richard? Unless Rich is Richard. Maybe I missed that. Richard is here. Okay, awesome. Sorry, I didn't see you in the chat. I must have missed that somewhere. Do I ever test the PS? Only if I ever have a in question on the power supply do I test it before putting it in. I do have a really nice tester here by Thermaltake though. Thinking of where I put it. I could show you guys. I have no idea where I put it. It's floating around in here somewhere. So, this Thermaltake power supply tester is what I use. This thing is a really nice, it's like the Cadillac power supply tester. It has a built-in screen, it has all the connections for it. Literally everything, including the 12 plus 4 pin for the PCIe 5.0. It's a really nice one, but this is what I would typically use if I have a question, if I even think the power supply is not good. Typically, you never have that problem with a new power supply. It's very, very, very rare that something like that were to happen with a brand new power supply. So, is this PC case Corsair? No, this is a Cooler Master. This is the half 700 Evo. It is a massive case. It's huge. It's about, I'd say, close to a quarter of my body height. And I'm 5'9"-ish. It's massive. And it is probably close to a quarter of my body weight, to be honest. And I'm like 200 pounds. Well, 220, 230 right now. I always get a little heavier in the winter. Not unless it's NZXT. Yeah. Call this case Megatron. Tat, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. This thing is massive. I think we're going to call it the BFC. As long as Richards is okay with calling it that. C stands for computer. B stands for big. F, you know what it stands for. The BFC. Big fudging computer. I mean, to be honest with you, you could barely see with the tinted glass the fans, the Noctua fans on the top. You can't even notice them. You barely notice them with the tinted glass. Barely noticeable that there's poop brown fans in there. You mean for the winter? Yeah, I know, bears do it. It's natural for us to bulk up a little bit. F stands for freaking, got it. That works too. Big freaking computer. It is a freak of nature, I'd say. I notice them. Yeah, you could see them. They can't hide from me. Yeah, I get that. I get that. But I mean, it's you see them if you're looking for them, sure. But I mean, it's going to add some airflow to the system, that's for sure. I can feel them pushing the air through the top right now. And we're just sitting here at the BIOS. Where are temps? Right now we're sitting at 40 Celsius at 5.9 gigahertz with a 1.359 voltage, core voltage. It's pretty good. Voltage on the RAM needs to be increased, and we need to get the XMP profile set, but I'm not going to do that until after I do a BIOS update. But alright guys, this was the build for the night. I'm going to call it here for tonight. I'm getting sore from standing and leaning into the engine bay all night. My hernia is starting to say, hey Ben, you should probably go sit down. It's time. So I'm going to listen to that. I am going to go see a surgeon on Monday. So hopefully we'll get that taken care of, and I could stand for 4+ hours again and do, you know, all the builds, which is what I was doing earlier this year. So I tell everyone I hibernate in the winter, so don't bother me my sleep. That works for me. The problem is I have kids, so it doesn't work when you have kids. All right, man. Have a good night. Alrighty, good night, Ben, the genius. I'm not a genius. I'm just a PC builder. With all the ROG stuff, I'm shocked it isn't an ROG case. I mean, the Cooler Master case is pretty ROGE, right? Thank you, Ben. Starfield, here I come. By the way, this is all for Starfield, right? Yeah, it's gonna do great. I'm sorry we couldn't get the card vertical. I thought it was gonna fit. It would have looked pretty cool too, but... Alright guys, have a good night. We'll see I'll be building again tomorrow, so I'll be live again tomorrow. So just look for a stream. It'll probably be earlier in the day. I don't really want to do a night stream tomorrow or an evening stream, so I'm going to try to take advantage, but it again depends on the foot traffic coming in and out of here. So just look for the stream sometime in the afternoon / early evening, earlier, like, you know, more closer to like 5 o'clock. But we'll see you then. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you on the next build stream tomorrow. Peace. And I'll let you know, Richard, when this is all set. So stay tuned. Have a good night, guys.